Hello and welcome everyone, I'm C.S.Gilmore and this is PowerWash Simulator. Ah, figured I'd do something a little simpler today. We've got some nice vehicles to work on, so shouldn't be too hard. How about we jump in with the clean the motorbike and sidecar one first and probably do the fire truck after that. You've seen the pics of my hubby and I becoming the first sidecar to complete the 24-hour Great Plains Challenge. Everyone thought the tracks were just too bumpy and 24 hours in the seat too restrictive, but it was no problem at all. When I got uncomfortable, I just took my hands off the throttle for a second and gave them a shake. The brutal 5-hour river section sure took it out of the sidecar, though. Can you clean it up? Okay, that's an interesting thing to do with that, but alright. By the way, Bobby wondered if you knew any chiropractors. Yeah, they'd probably need one after something like that. Messages. Filthy sidecar if you can fit us in. I run it up to you if it helps. Alright, let's start. So yeah, figured I'd do something a little simpler today because we just got back from the hospital. And we now have our fourth child, our third daughter. Hopefully it all goes well. Let's swap to the yellow. Let's see. This a little bit more fresh. It's a small item, shouldn't be too hard. We just got a notification that I did see weird, sounded odd. Is there a way to check any messages? Oh, forgot we could even change our clothing. Cool. Yeah, I definitely feel like something's not popping up right. Like we should be getting some text messages or something is not tuning in. I hear that sound like we're getting a message. What is going on with this? Why is it doing that? And why am I not seeing anything? Is there... Nope, there's no messages there. Pretty sure those will have shown up here, so... I don't know what that weird noise is. I think you're probably hearing it too, I imagine. It's not just me losing my mind. But yeah, so we just got back from the hospital today and a little bit tired after all that. But still wanted to do something, you know? This child is definitely coming across as a bit different than our other three did. A lot more chill in a lot of ways. Like, not as quite as grumpy about everything, but, you know, how to explain it? Hard to really explain. Definitely seems to... Definitely different than the other... It seems to be a little less on edge than the other kids were at that age. Maybe that's the right way to put it. Hard to... Yeah, I don't know. It's super hard to explain because... I think... Because, yeah, kids are definitely all different in their own ways. For sure. And it's a little early for us to say for sure also whether or not we're going to be doing okay with this one or whether, you know, we'll be losing our minds tonight with lack of sleep because she decided she's upset about something. So got some dirty spot on it. Come on. Go. Spoke set. Somewhere in these spokes. See? How am I supposed to get these spokes clean though with these items in the way? Maybe the other angle will give me a better work it. Go. Okay. Got it. Alright. Definitely strange, because it really felt like we were getting messages like we normally would, but then it wasn't actually giving me any messages. What guard? That would be here, probably. There we go. This. Yeah, nice simple one. Great job on the side cards. Never looked better. Tempted to go in for the Appalachian Way Mega Run now. It's always been Bobby's dream. Yeah, no new messages. Or if that noise was suggesting like maybe they meant to put in messages at some point and then they never did. Or it could be a glitch. Well, let's jump in on this one. FA, we're currently down at Oakwood Falls, about to risk life and limb because someone thinks they saw the mayor's cat licking its paw under the waterfall. It's got to stop, and I've had a brainwave. Bring the old truck out from the garage, give it a clean up, and send their recruits out on that wild goose chase whilst the rest of us get on with all the proper jobs. It's hella filthy, but if you could do your thing and make it sparkling, the mayor will never tell the difference. Thanks, pal. I guess that's one way to do things. Any chance you can come hose down our spare truck? The mayor's running us ragged over here. Alright. Details. Yep. Plastic cleaning. Let's go. Okay, this is going to be interesting. I'm going to have to use some special cleaners on this one, it looks like. Because I think that's either some heavier coarse stuff or rust. Hard to tell. Nah, not rust, but definitely some harder grime on this one. Well, let's get what we can first, and that way I can work out what I need and what I don't need. That way I don't start using one thing and then decide I need another one partway through and waste it. Oh, this tire's not even... This wheel base here is not even coming clean. That's good. Okay. Probably means that I am gonna have to use... Yeah, I definitely have to use metal clean on this truck. There's some areas here that are just not gonna do it otherwise. I mean, at least it makes sense that a fire truck would be dirty, considering they're usually getting up towards fires to put them out, and fires tend to put off a lot of smoke, dust, soot, hazardous chemicals, and etc. and so forth. You know, there's a theory that the cat's not really misty. Oh? No, I did not know there was a theory for that. That the mayor's using it as a distraction device so no one notices all that pipeline stuff. Oh, we're getting into some weird political junk. Alright, well, we'll let it go for now, while we work on this. I'll have to get on top of this place. At least all the light fixtures seem to be coming clean easily. And most of the truck is actually not too bad. It's just, yeah, all the a lot of these chrome bits are where it gets weird. I wonder if hubcaps on fire trucks are able to rust, or if they use a non-rusty metal, kind of like some of these other parts. Look like they probably are rust resistant, but some of them are definitely rusty at this one. But like, I don't know how they like what it actually looked like for a real fire truck design, if they used stainless steel or whatever. Some of these things, would they even care? Hey bud, do you know if the mayor's cat's still missing? I'm at the volcano and I think I see him on the outer rim. I'm going in for a closer look. Okay. The cat gone to a volcano? Very possibly. That'll be fun. Hmm. Fun story. I've never been to an active volcano, obviously, but been out in Utah and other in areas out west like that. I've actually hiked up some, old volcanoes. Lots of lava rock. Uh, climbing. You go up to the top, go down into the caldera, and all that. It's kind of interesting because, yeah, no lava there. Obviously, they're dormant or old and no longer active. But out west, there's a lot of old, previously volcanic areas that could easily become volcanic again someday. Because that area isn't the most sturdy as far as volcanism goes. I think that's the right word. I mean, it's also really cool because you can find lava tubes, which are areas like it's kind of what they sound like. They're tubes in the ground, kind of like caves that lava used to travel through, and they just leave these tunnels through the ground. And some of them are big enough you can easily just walk right into them. And some of them are very close to the surface. Some of them go deeper. I've actually explored some lava tubes here and there out by there was a place called Delta we went out to. I was at one point, and it's kind of middle of nowhere place. We went and explored some lava tubes, got to see some things. It was really interesting. Hey Doc, we have a lovely little job for you up at the house when you're free. No weird stuff, promise. Oh, those two again. It's all the usually haunted stuff. It's definitely Ulysses. I can see his funny leg. Oh good, so the cat is up at a volcano. Great. Alright, I am going to have to get a metal cleaning, because it looks like I cannot do this job otherwise. Why would a cat hang out 10 feet from a lava flow, though? I guess it's the world's best log fire. Would a cat really want to go near that, though? So much rust. I love that this just takes it right off. I bet there are so many people in the world that wish rust came off this easily. That would make life a lot easier for a number of cleaning jobs and restoration jobs. Like trying to restore a vehicle. Good luck with that. When they're super far gone, you could just hose them down with a special solution and boom, no more rust at all. That would be, and like, good as new, not just, oh well, we got rid of the rust. Unfortunately, it was rusted through, so now we don't have a thing. Like, it's probably far too often the case. Yeah, that would be an interesting change of pace. Is that and that? What am I missing on this control? Oh, little bits here and there. Okay, get the angling right. That one. This whole thing. So nice to be able to just go, where is the dirt? Scan. Because without that, this game would be nigh impossible. At least in some areas. Come on, I see no dirt in there. Alright, got it. Underneath. These steps are very problematic. Out of cleaner. Alright, I guess I have to go to the shop. Shop. Cleaning. Metal cleaner. I guess I better grab everything while I can. Apparently we're going to have to deal with some shortages, and I don't know what I'm going to do if I can't actually get done with what I've got. Well, let's focus on the worst spots for now. Like this here, definitely. Is it? Okay. That's probably the worst of that. Come on, write it down. Alright, we're done with that. Let's get on top. And we're still gonna need it. Okay, I'm with the whisker of. I'm within a whisker of Elisis now, so he's almost caught the cat. Okay. Oh, this stuff is bad. Is some of this not metal? No, it is all metal. Okay. Oh, that's great. I'm going to swap to a normal cleaning for now, I guess, and work from there. Hopefully some of this stuff will just come off. And then I can figure out if there's any must-use spots for that last half bottle. Or otherwise I'm going to have to switch to the basically single point nozzle and just blast an area super hard at point blank range until it hopefully gives out. And I found out how to change this again. I found button for it. It's R, which I could have sworn I'd pushed last time and it hadn't worked. So I don't know why that was that way, but it is what it is, and we are here. Okay, does this come off at all if I just blast it? Well, that's not a good sign. What do I do if I can't finish this? Go into free mode or something and buy stuff there, maybe? Or maybe more becomes available in the shop. I feel like they wouldn't make it impossible. Well, or you could just get enough of it, I guess, for it to go, okay, we count it. Good to know. Yeah, I still feel like they wouldn't make it impossible to do this. So I wonder if they have some other designs that help if you run out of a specific solution that is generally needed for a device. Okay, let's move into here a bit. Underneath there. Of course, you should always be careful if you do ever go out into exploring things like lava tubes. One, because who knows how safe they are? Like, are they stable? I mean, there were a lot of lava tubes I saw that were near the surface, but they had just opened up because the ceilings had collapsed. So you see a bunch of this broken up stone making basically a small canyon. which you do not want to fall into while out in the middle of the desert. Just, can't recommend it. It would be bad for your health. Alright, let me see here. Let me swap to this real quick. Go. And as we'll finish this off, yes. Oh wait, police something. Ah, Father, I wish I had seen that before I sprayed. Police rules, fire rules, I think is what I said. I could so see. I could definitely see like fire department and police department having a bit of just a rivalry of some sort. That good. It's coming clean at least. Just for kicks and giggles, I could totally see them, doing bits of pranks on each other, all that good stuff. Hopefully not in a way that would, but they'd have to be careful, make sure they don't undermine their paid capabilities. No one wants to, even though they may, have fun with each other, and at each other, make fun of each other, but they definitely all need to be functional in case of emergency. So, complicated situations. Where am I missing on these puzzles? That one, and that probably means inside of. Go. Alright, 2 doors, windows. This one? Come on. Plastic, huh? Alright, well, at least I have that liquid, so let's click on the wrong one. Where's plastic? And back to this. Well, that's not good. What if I switch to multi-purpose? Alter for many types of different surfaces. Yeah, so this might work. Good. Phew. So we're not completely screwed for not having the exact type. Alright. Somewhere on these wipers is full. Come on. Come on. One down. Alright, back to the multi-purpose. We've narrowed it to a spot. There we go. Now we just have a window. See you. And done. Another big hazard you can run into when it comes to doing caving type stuff, out west especially, if it rains, it can flood, like flash flood, so fast. Because the ground out there is a bunch of rock and sand, and it does not absorb water. At least not well. FA, you're a legend. That is absolutely pristine. Even the rust's gone. That should get the mayor off our backs for a while, which means we can all get back to doing the jobs we're paid for. Thanks, pal. Right, can I buy some more now? No. Alright. Alright. Yep. Yep. Level complete. Alright. Oh, we got a recreational RV. Let me try something. Go to... I go to main menu. Does that change anything? No. Take another check. But if I go back, do free play, just do something small and simple, we can just jump in as a free play item. And now we check the shop. Still out. Well, that's not good. I'll figure out how to handle it. Well, no point in us sticking around here if this is a bust. So let's go back to rear. Continue. This will jump into... Let's do the vehicle. This other vehicle. Doc, we'd like you to meet our trusty RV. Before we settled down at Esther's, we traveled around the country, chasing mysteries, doing odd jobs, just bumbling around, really. One day we might be deep in a wood. The next we're traveling at breakneck speed along country roads, evading the authorities, all of which has taken its toll on our poor RV. Evade the authorities in an RV. Okay. Please give her the clean. She deserves to reclaim her crown as queen of the open road. Start. Also, they promised no weird stuff this time. Wanna bet there's something weird? Shop, please. No. Well, I don't know how that works. We're gonna have to do what we can. Just wanted to say how grateful Jenny and I are for everything you've done for us. It's really helped us get on our feet. Okie dokie. Okay, I have to take off the stencils there. It sounds silly, but washing the house when no one else would made such a difference. And as for the car, I need to wash the stencil off too, because that actually looked kind of cool. Looked like a nice flower design. Oh well. Turns out it is just an average door. Nothing fancy here. Love, art. Alright, I'm gonna have to figure out how to do this. That is definitely rust there. How am I supposed to clean rust off without rust removal? Metal stuff. Fingers crossed the all-purpose works. Or that more becomes available in some way. That could be problematic otherwise. Because this is very rusty. Okay, well, let's try it. Up to this. All multi-purpose. That is not cutting. Not really. I mean, it's sort of working, but like, yeah, no, not really. Nowhere near what I need it to be working. This is a problem. What am I supposed to do with this then? Well, let's try the 0 point. Okay, 0 point pressure does still work. Good, they didn't leave me high and dry. It just is annoyingly narrow, so we have to really focus the pressure wash on the spot. But good. I'm glad that they had something that worked, because it would have been really annoying to be like, ah, yes, the job is to clean this thing that we are suddenly unable to clean because the shop doesn't have more cleaner of the type we need. Figured there had to be some sort of workaround, otherwise there would have been complaints left and right on in the the Steam page or whatever for that. So it is really annoying to have to get every little area pinpoint washed in some ways, at least for my general preferred pace. But then I guess also this game is designed to be a take it slow necessary. Not well, sometimes, unless you're doing the challenge runs. Alright, I'll just get above that here later. Because yeah, there are the challenge runs which are like, go do this under this stupid really tight timeline. Those ones you definitely need to have the right cleaner for, because there's, or something I would say, assume, because good luck with that otherwise. Okay, I'm gonna have to get close still for this. It's gonna make getting into some of these cracks and crevices a real pain. You know, something that, on the times I have done the little caving, I've probably gotten kind of lucky in that never ran into, like, you know, a critter. No, never ran into anything living in the cave, in the little, like, tunnel systems or anything like that. Because that is an entirely possible thing to run into. That, or they were further in than we ever went. Because we didn't go super far into any of those things. Just, you know, kind of casual exploration, looking into things. Slot canyons were also fun to explore. Went out to a place called Escalante. Probably mispronouncing it. It was, or Escalante. Yeah. Anyway, probably mispronouncing it. One of those names that's a little tricky for me. That place, there were slot canyons out here, as I recall, and those are fun to explore. Those are definitely on the list of, though, you always check the weather, not only for the area you're going to, but like in the surrounding areas. And if there's rain, don't go in any of the surrounding areas, because, once again, slot canyons are one of the first things that will flash flood and kill you, because they don't just like flash flood a little bit. They're slot canyons because they're these little teeny canyons, which are really cool, but it's generally because there's been a really fast, high-speed stream that sometimes rushes through them and makes them. And yeah, if you're in said slot canyon when a couple miles away, a bunch of water runs down a mountainside and into the slot canyon, and it's like one of the ends of it. If you're in said slot canyon, you are probably not going to have a whole lot of time to go, I need to get out of here. You won't hear it coming probably in time to get out. Because some of the slot canyon areas can still be pretty tight. They're tight, but they're not not necessarily small, if that makes sense. Some of them can have tighter spots and be pretty small, but they are also big enough that, yeah, you can't just, you know, quickly scale a wall or jump out. It's not like climbing out of a dip. No, you're in a small canyon. And, yeah. So it's really cool to see them, just because you get to see all sorts of cool, like, how the water shaped them. How they've adjusted, like, the layout of things over time. And being able to experience that and enjoy that is really cool. You just always have to be safe and make sure you're checking things ahead of time, because You do not want to be in one when everything goes. And some of you are probably going, then why would you ever go in one? Well, the answer is simple. Because it's cool. Also, a lot of the time, as long as there isn't water involved anywhere nearby, they are pretty well safe. Well, unless of course the usual problems of a desert. Pick off a rattlesnake or something. Don't do that, by the way. Rattlesnakes can be a bit on the cranky side. And, well, yeah. Okay. Our driving Miss Pebble's live streams flopped. The fans just went, Esther. So we sold the car for a lot. I mean, a lot. I mean, wait, why did they just say? Messages. I mean, yes, we do want to supersize lot. Interesting. Are they talking about the car that I refurbished basically for them? That they had, the old haunted car? Or are they talking about a different car that they had at the time? I'm not 100% sure. So much junk in this on this thing. How am I supposed to clean this in any reasonable time frame? I really just wish they'd give me more spray, because this would have been done a lot faster with just a metal right, just a metal cleaner right here. That could just go over a much more accurate area, a lot easier. Call it good. Hell well, beggars can't be choosers, as the saying goes. Why am I not getting these spots? Missing them, or there we go. This grill is still showing up as pretty dirty. There we go. Alright, let's get down. There's a big chunk. Focus on that. We should probably get a good chunk of this place done. Get there. Doing some line work on this thing, really. Or how many gallons of water we allegedly be using with this. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad that came clean like that, because that is going to save me a lot of time and effort. If I had to keep detail washing that just to get any pieces off, it would have been annoying. Alright, let's get along these rims. I'm seeing plenty of rust. Good, that one's done. That's done. Still feels like we're doing some detailing. Just really crunching away at a specific spot. Ooh, something else that I remember seeing out west that I don't really see out east. At least I don't recall seeing really out east. Petrified wood. It's old wood that has, as the name kind of suggests, turned to stone. It's basically fossilized rock, fossilized trees, instead of like dinosaur bones or something like that. It's trees, and they've become fossilized. There's a lot of ways that can happen, but essentially, it would I know some areas, especially like swampy areas, you can run into things like that sometimes, where the trees have sunk into the water, and the nature of the water, if it's depending on like what its chemical composition is and all that, and the sediment in it, if it's like, say, got a whole lot of sediment that the trees can sink into, that might actually preserve the tree from being, rotted like it normally would by standard microbes and all. And then you get, as a result, it slowly becoming stone as more like various uh, metallics and other harder materials seep into its pores and everything. You get some really cool stuff. That looks like my cursive. When I'm signing my name. Moderately illegible. There's a reason I don't write in cursive. Except for to sign my name. Because even those people that do know how to write in cursive effectively, it's so hard to get someone who can do so legibly. Whether you can read cursive well enough, or like recognize it well enough or not. If you don't have someone who, like, well, let's just say there's reasons that people joke around about doctors' handwriting being horrible because their signatures being illegible because they do it a lot, and when you're doing it a lot, you kind of just throw it on them. I kind of wonder why signatures are even a form of like documental confirmation that is accepted anymore. Like, it's not like it's all that unique. I mean, man, I don't even write my own if I wrote my signature 10 times, you'd probably see close to 10 variations on my signature. Because of, so, yeah, who's to say someone else didn't write my signature after that? Why do we use those for confirmation? For anything even remotely legally or financially binding. Doesn't make sense to me. Way too open to human error. And just unrecognizability. 1 second, I'm getting a bunch of messages on my phone, and I need to make sure none of them are my wife trying to call me for help with something that I can't hear upstairs. Nope, okay, just group chat. No one cares about the group chat. At least not like that. I mean, I do care about the group chat because it's my family group chat, but, like, not important to my current situation right here while we're doing this. We are cleaning. Spot cleaning because it's the best thing we can do to get half this junk off. Good. I do like that it, like, does get it off at least. But I do wish there wasn't so much of it that I have to keep doing this. Really make it work. Alright, I'm missing there. I was like, that tire was not done. Yeah, I wish it wasn't quite so spot clean. Because, yeah, if we go up one size, we're certainly not seeing any results. That's annoying. Come on, I'm clean. That hubcap's clean. That hubcap is clean. Alright, let's just do this one to get rid of the bigger spots. We raided the attic for all of Esther's old stuff and put it all on the vlog. It's gone bananas. Okay. So cleaned out an attic, found a bunch of cool stuff. Got it. And what's fascinated me the most is the telemetry. I'm really getting into analytics. I don't understand what that means in that context. That has me wondering. What are they talking about? Telemetry analytics in relation to stuff in an attic. Are they talking about ghosts and spirits kind of like they were before, or are they talking about something else? I'm trying to think if there's like, using my knowledge from working in business, is there like a terminology? Because they were talking about selling stuff and showing stuff on the vlog. So like, is there? So talk about going over my knowledge of business stuff as well as my knowledge of like say YouTube algorithm workings and all that. Not to say I'm an expert on all that, but I've still got some experience working with it, given the time involved that I've put in. Is there any terminology that like they just use that ties in with any of that? And I'm kind of drawing a blank. So I don't know. Weird stuff. Guess I shouldn't be surprised. I was hoping we'd hear more about the mayor's cat in the volcano, whether our friend caught it or not, or whether we're going to be going to the volcano at some point. That'd be interesting. Though I don't know what we clean up there, really. Maybe his research station. Clean that up in the volcanic area and just everything's covered in volcanic ash. That at least would kind of make sense then, especially if it's an active volcano like it sounds it is. Sounds like it is for sure, with how he was mentioning cat being near something that like kind of looks like a giant log fire, I suppose. Jenny's changed too, trading cryptozoology for cryptocurrency. Itty bitty coin looks like the next big thing if you need a tip. Okay, so they're talking. So they moved on from weird stuff to weirder stuff to economics. Okay, I don't know enough economics to know if telemetry would be in relation to something there. Economics, not my strong suit. Not a degree I even want to try to approach or take in any college format. That sounds like way more unpleasant math than I am willing to put up with. I already hate doing my taxes. Because there's so much annoying paperwork to fill out. Whether I end up owing something afterwards or not. And of course, there's always that joke with the taxes of like the IRS. You have to fill this out so you know how much, whether you owe us anything or not. Couldn't you just tell me? No, you need to figure it out. Well, if you get it wrong, we know that you. And it's like, so if you know, just tell me. If you don't know, why are we doing this whole thing? There's so many classics. Classic questionable situation. Wait, oh, okay, sorry. For a second there, I was really thinking, can I climb under this? Because it kind of looked like I could. I was getting excited for to be able to climb under the vehicle or all around underneath it just for fun. Also to get some of these areas clean. Looks like I'm going to have to switch back to the single point pressure thing for a lot of these corners and rims. First, though... Alright, there we go. Let's get to the top. What is this? Okay. Yeah, I'm really kind of curious about this whole thing running from the authorities bit. Because, this RV feels like it would be a little obvious. Also, it's an RV. I'm not aware of them getting up to any particularly good speed. I guess it could be a kind of a joke on Scooby-Doo. in that regard, like them with their mystery van, and sometimes always, out driving things that they probably shouldn't be able to. Also, dodging the authorities in some ways. If you go with the theory of that that Shaggy and everyone are draft dodgers, well, Shaggy and Fred at least would be draft dodgers. Given the time frame that Scooby-Doo is generally placed in, women probably wouldn't be considered draft dodgers since they wouldn't be getting drafted in that way. No, I guess they could be getting sort of drafted for like the war effort in other ways, like hey, go make bullets and other things. As I recall, that was a big thing that a lot of women and children had to do was make items for the war effort. Just in a more like, hey, we put these together and now we ship them off to the front line. The upshot of all this is we want you to have the RV. Why would I wash this thing and then want you to give it to me? Anyway, we can't have her sitting idle. She's born for the open road. Okay, but I have a use for an RV. Pretty sure even in this game's format, why would I use an RV? I've already got it. Maybe you can take your job to other countries, other counties, or maybe you know someone on the lookout for one. This is sounding a lot like either you'd be trying to, pawn off actually paying the bill by going, yeah, we'll pay you in barter via an RV instead. Oh yeah, the RV you cleaned. Or it sounds like we don't want it, clean it up and then sell it for us type of thing. Like we don't want to actually do the work. You take care of it. That is kind of what I'm hearing. I don't know what the market on RVs is. Thinking back, what is the market for RVs? I've never used an RV myself. Never owned one. Never really had a real reason to own one. Because me, RVs would generally be for, big road trips or camping, I suppose. But me, camping involved like straight up using a tent. And can't think of any time I've really been a huge fan of road trips. Don't like being in a vehicle that much. Or going cross country. I don't know. I suppose there's some situations where it would be nice to go out and see some things. But with the family and all, and that's where an RV kind of comes in, because like you could bring the kids and still, kind of make it work. But even then, I don't know if that would be really my thing. I mean, if I have to travel long distance, I'd probably rather go train or plane. I guess there's plenty of areas that you can't really get to those things without a vehicle to bridge the gap between them. And planes have to go through airports, and trains have to follow the tracks. But I guess, though, for me, I guess the train, for example, I've ridden on a train across the states from like out New York ways to Utah for a wedding at one point. We took a train because we had a bunch of little kids with us and couldn't really do much with a plane with them. It would have been a mess, even though it would have been a lot faster. The train was nice. You could kind of just sit down, read a book. Well, okay, I would have liked to be able to sit down and read a book, and I definitely could if I was riding on a train on my own, or if it was just me and my wife. With the kids, it was less so, because I had to constantly be, especially at the time our kids were, well, we didn't have as many kids as we do now, but they were still a lot younger, so they needed, constant attention. We had my son on a little, like, wrist leash to stop him from just wandering off. He's without us realizing it, because my children are very much interested in just, oh, I want to go over here. Sometimes, especially on trips like that. And my son is a train fanatic, so riding on the train, well, let's just say I did a lot of walks up and down the cars with him because he wanted to go see the train cars in Brace Bob. And he'd want to go stay in there was an observation car where you could, it, like, had glass windows all around it, and you could see out and look at all the scenery, or if you went through a tunnel. My son liked to go there for those things sometimes, but he was still very little and would get bored very quickly. Okay, there's there we go. And so we may have gone up and down that train a lot without much sitting down. Little kids, they do not sit still. They have the energy. An energy that is sadly lost to us often as we get older. Right, yeah, this would have been so much nicer to just have a metal cleaning solution. So I could just completely clean this off without taking nearly this time. Okay, one more test. Nope, does not come back in. I was hoping. If it was like, maybe if to complete a certain degree of a cleaning job before more comes into stock. I'll have to figure out what their situation is, because we also started this job and there wasn't any more, so... Wonder what they do. How does this game regulate when the shop has stuff? Is it a real lifetime thing? Is it a certain amount of progress thing? Like, I'm not sure how they function with this game. It would be so much easier without it. Also, I kind of wish America did more with trains, by the way, because they are a nice way to get around. But they're severely... America does not utilize trains well. One, we could use them for hauling freight stuff from one end of the country to the other a lot easier than, say, all the semis we use in a lot of ways. But we don't. We don't utilize train tracks nearly that well, and a lot of the train tracks are not in the best of shape, and a lot of the trains aren't even in the best of shape. We rode Amtrak, and some of the cars were not great. There was one point on one of the trains we were on after we were coming up on a tunnel, and we get an announcement going, anyone with asthma should move to a different car while we're about to go through this tunnel, because the doors on this car, like, I don't remember what it was, like car 3 or something like that, can't close. The doors at the end can't close them. So, yeah, if you don't want to get some smokier air, you should move over to a different car for the time being until we get through the tunnel. Because the tunnels, that is one of the downsides of the tunnels for trains, is what smoke and whatever the engines do put off gets funneled right into those tunnels and has nowhere to go out until it can get to the end. Or at least not significantly so. Wait, there's something here. go. And yeah, so if you're in a car and the doors don't close, you get to find out where some of that smoke and all that junk will come for you. Because it'll go right into the car, so it doesn't have an issue with that. Alright, there's the spot I missed. That. Got this. Not. Little nitpicky thing is kind of annoying. There we go, there's a bit. There's that. Oh, spot. That'll be a good chunk of that ladder. Alright, I must have missed some areas up above, I'm pretty sure. So I'm not seeing a lot here. This is catching the light with those reflections just right, so I can't see it. Well, let's get this undercarriage. Underside done. Nice. Exhaust pipe done. Any other underside pieces? Alright, I think we're done with that. Now to get this bumper. Left body. Okay, the left body is all this. This should be fairly quick then. As long as I get a few of these major spots. Kinda hard to tell with that. Alright, any major spots of rust ready. Left body. Where else am I missing? There? Doesn't seem to be registering as part of it, so. Well, no, it's getting something off there. Another one of the windows. Left body, still missing spots. If I go up. Can I just climb this ladder like I normally would? Yes. This is just weirdly. There we go. Left body done. Roof is done. Roof is done. Vent is done. There's the spot I was missing on this ladder. Good. Ladder's done. Brake light, brake light, brake light. Alright, now we gotta get right body. This is a big spot of it. Alright, most of this damage is down below. Oh, the hatch counts as a separate piece at least. That's cool. Makes sense in some ways, but... Come on. There we go. Do not expect this one vehicle to take so long, but really shows the difference between when you have the right cleaning agent and you don't. I'm really tempted to try the multi-purpose one more time just to hope it works. Kinda does, kinda doesn't. Now it's better than nothing, I suppose. At least loosens, gets rid of a good chunk, which should speed up the rest of the process. Bumper, still there, that part. And I'm out of multi-cleaner. So, back to the grind. Come on, bumper. Come clean. Not that part. This end. Good. Did I miss the other end? Yes. Doesn't necessarily look at all that much, but definitely missed some spots. This bumper is missing just a little bit. Inside lip. Ah, that's fine. It has an inside lip. That's annoying. This, that, put along there, put along there. Boom, right body done. This hubcap is done. That hubcap is. Tires are done. Window, window, window. Indicators and windows. Okay, we're missing a window somewhere. And indicators, which would be this, one of these little lights things. Indicator and add indicator, add. Done. Window, 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 window. Back window? Back window. There we go. Hey, FA, get yourself over here quick as you can. We got an urgent one for you. Thanks. Okay, so that was a lot more work than it needed to be just because of the issue of not having the right cleaning agent. Harper here, just want to thank you again for gifting me the RV. I'm about to hit the road, heading for pastures unknown. She's so beautiful and so clean. I know you said not to, but I've sent some cash over. Maybe put it towards a washer upgrade. Take care, and I'll keep an eye out for any interesting jobs for you. You're the best. All right. Ooh, a helicopter. Ooh. Fire helicopter. Buckingham Fire Station, Maine. Alright, cool, cool. Clean the forest cottage. Let me take a look here. Now there's more. Thank you. Everything. And it looks like it made metal cleaner more available because it knew, hey, you're going to need it. Alright. Power washers. Heavy duty. We've owned that. Don't have enough for the last one. Equipment. Okay, I don't have the stuff for the prime thing yet. I do have all of the stuff for that. Yeah, so it's all just the last one of those we don't have yet. Okay, we're doing pretty good. I just kind of wish they'd, give me more for the general cleaning supplies. Then we gotta dive into bonus drops at some point too, because I still want to do the Warhammer 40k one for sure. But hey, I want to do I want to do the main storyline, at least with all this. Anyway, I've rambled on enough and talked your ear off. Thanks everyone so much for watching. Comments below. Caving experience of your own? Splunking? Anything fun? Anything really cool you found? I know there's some amazing things out there. Otherwise, hit like and subscribe to keep up with new releases if you're new here and haven't done so already. Have a great night, everyone. Bye.